Conan Exiles is an open-world survival game set in the universe of Robert E. Howard's Conan the Barbarian.
Your first moments in Conan Exile are gonna be pretty rough.
Cut down from a cross, left in the sand to die. You need to find yourself water.
Then you can start thinking on building a bow with arrows or some projectile weapons so you can go hunting.
Some of these creatures are obvious and somewhat mundane, like elephants, which you'll be hunting for ivory. But then there's creatures that you'll need silver to defeat, and you'll need to go and hunt those in the dark and haunted places of Hyboria.
Building is a very important aspect of survival as well.
Having a building in Conan Exiles provides shelter from the environment, keeps you safe from the dangers of the outside, will keep you safe from your enemies in PvP, and of course it provides a place for you to put all your stuff and lock it behind closed doors.
Thralls are another very important tool that we have for survival.
You make thralls, you create thralls. For example, you capture a blacksmith thrall, and he'll give you access to items that can only be crafted by that blacksmith thrall. That allows you, for example, to create Sumerian weapons, even though your character is not a Sumerian. One of the advantages of capturing thralls and breaking their will on the Wheel of Pain is that then you can use them to defend your base when you're not around. Your small private army of thralls will be able to keep your stuff protected while you're not there.
It is very important that you do prepare for the sandstone because it will ultimately kill you.
Two options. You can either find shelter, or you can craft yourself a rebreather mask, which will allow you to survive and explore in the sandstorm. As you explore the dark and dangerous places of Hyboria, it'll also start to drive you insane. You'll start to see things and hear things that aren't there.
But there are ways that you have to get rid of it. For example, you can capture and convert thralls that will dance for you, whose main effect is that they help you get rid of your corruption. Religion is another very important aspect of survival, as one of the major drivers for conflict. Avatars are a major dominating force in this world. It takes a very significant investment, and when you summon, you can rest assured they're going to have a huge impact.
When you start Conan Exiles, you'll be scavenging resources from the wasteland, sticks and stones to create your first rudimentary axe. But by the end, you'll be summoning an avatar of a god to smite your foes.
Regarding survival, you better run.
Conan Exiles is an open-world survival game in which you use the freeform building system to craft yourself a village or city, which you then use as a base to fend yourself. In order to dominate your enemies, you're going to need to create a safe location, a place that you can store weapons, supplies, a place which you decorate and you invite your friends to show off, a place where your clan can gather to discuss their war plans.
Building is a very important aspect of the game because it is the main way to secure your goods.
Conan Exiles has a really nice freeform building system. Basically, we've tried to create a building system which is as flexible as possible. That means that it allows you to build buildings almost anywhere.
One of the cool features that we have is that you can build a house on a mountainside if you want.
In order to craft higher tier items, players will need to create crafting stations. These are things like forges, armor making benches, woodworking benches, tanneries.
We have a huge selection of placeables and decoration. You have tables and shelves and barrels and candles.
You can craft gongs and horns, which you can use to signal the approach of your enemies or to let your friends know to open the gate. You can kill some of the hardest creatures in the game, chop off their head and have that mounted on the wall of your living room.
Some of those decorative pieces are also little toys. Like, for example, you can place an archery target that you can shoot at, and it will give you a score depending on how close to the bullseye your shot was. Thralls are another major component of crafting.
When players start to get into the thrall system, they'll be able to go out into the world and capture artisan thralls. And once you place, for example, a Stygian smith at a Stygian forge, suddenly you have access to Stygian weapons because his knowledge becomes your knowledge.
You can attack other players' structures. Depending on the tier of the structure you're attacking, some weapons are going to be ineffective. You can also craft explosives that you can use that affect all tiers of building. When you plan your base, you should also make sure you have enough space for an altar, and you need altars in order to unlock the religion path.
The avatar is the ultimate expression of your religious fervor in the game.
When facing enemies with the ability to summon avatars, it pays off to think on your base layout carefully.
When one of them steps on your city wall, it's going to crumble. They say home is where the heart is, but in Conan Exiles, home is where you keep the hearts of your enemies. Conan Exiles is an open-world survival game set in the harsh world of Conan the Barbarian. When we say dominate, we're really talking about the aspects of the game where players will fight against both NPCs, and they'll be, of course, fighting with other players and player-built cities in order to control the landscape.
In Conan Exiles, everything is out there to get you. You have animals and predators, and you have ancient demonic creatures, but the most dangerous enemy is other exiles.
In Conan Exiles, we have an action combat system. You can dual-wield weapons, you can use two-handed weapons. With a sword and a shield, you'll be able to block your enemies and force them backwards. Then there's weapons like the throwing axe, the versatile weapons, which you can use to swing from your offhand, but also throw at a fleeing enemy. Because this is the world of Conan, of course we've ratcheted the brutality up to 11, and you'll be able to deal fearsome blows to your enemies, chopping off limbs, heads, shearing them in half with a greatsword. Thralls are NPCs that you capture in the world. You drag them back to your base, and you break them on the Wheel of Pain so that they become your willing servants. Different thralls will be better at different things. So for example, you're going to want to find yourself a Shemite archer, one of the best archers in the world. And for example, if you manage to get lucky and find yourself a legendary named thrall in the world, then you'll be able to have a hero back at your base defending it. When you build a giant castle or a keep, people are going to see it in the landscape and they're going to want to take it from you.
Players should always be thinking on what is a good strategic location for building their bases.
With the building system in Conan Exiles, we allow players to build into the side of cliff faces, up mountains.
You want watchtowers and walls to place archers at. Elevation is also very, very important, and it might add a layer of protection against enemy archers or against their avatars. An avatar is the ultimate force of destruction in a PvP siege. If you are under attack by an avatar, you need to find the summoner and kill them.
We've made players who summon avatars uniquely vulnerable during the summoning period, which means that they'll be visible from almost anywhere on the map. The pinnacle of gameplay in Conan Exiles is the moment when you take control of the avatar of a god for the first time, one of these massive titanic creatures, and you stomp around the landscape. You smite your foes with righteous fury. sweat. But now Funcom would like to invite you to join us as we venture into the frozen north. The new biome is a significant increase to the landmass of Conan Exiles, giving people completely new environments to explore with different types of weather conditions to deal with. With the change in environment, there's a change in the resources available for you, the player. That means new types of plants, new types of stone and metal, new types of animals to hunt, and new types of enemies to destroy. You'll encounter exciting new factions. The heirs of the North are made up of Nordheimers, people who drink all night and fight all day. In the gloomier parts, there is the Forgotten Clan, who live among the mounds of the dead, the remnants of an ancient battlefield. Every night, the Whites rise from the ground and attack the Forgotten Clan. Finally, among the frozen slopes of the mountains, you will find the Frost Giants. Together, they have created a great edifice to their god, the Temple of Frost. In addition to the Temple of Frost, there's another multi-level dungeon known simply as the Black Keep. In the halls of the Black Keep, you will encounter traps, tricks, treasures, and finally, Tyros, the Deathbringer. Included in this update is the new temperature system, which allows your character to feel the punishment of both freezing cold and extreme heat. You might want to wear light, loose clothing when you're in the desert, and you might want to wear heavy, fur-lined armor when you're in the cold, frozen north. There are over 300 new items in this area for you to loot, craft, and trade. Of course, it isn't just about clothing. The new crafting machines allow capabilities in Conan Exiles that were not previously available. Things like placing fish traps into a water source and waiting until it fills with fish that you can then press for oil. Placing beehives in the world, populating them with honey, and then using them to brew alcohol. And then as you drink that alcohol, it will protect you against certain status effects. But on the negative side, it will of course make you thirstier and give you a hangover, which makes you feel pretty bad. If you want to build in the snowy slopes of the north, you're going to need something that will insulate you against the cold. With the new update, we've introduced two new tiers of building: insulated wood and black ice reinforced stone. These new types of buildings are equivalent to Tier 3 and Tier 2 building tiers from the desert, except that they insulate you against the cold and the ice. We've updated the character creation with this update. Finally, you'll be able to choose the beard that adorns the face of your favorite barbarian, and different colorings for those facial hairs. In addition to that, there's a new god to choose, Ymir, the Frost Father.
I remember the dark woods, masking slopes of somber hills, the grey clouds' leaden, everlasting arch, the dusky streams that flowed without a sound, and the lone winds that whispered down the passes. O soul of mine, how many deaths shall serve to break at last this heritage which wraps me in the grey apparel of ghosts? I search my heart and find Cimmeria, land of darkness and the night.
prisoner captured by unknown means was transported into the exiled lands, crucified, and left to die for crimes that they may or may not have committed, until fate intervenes. This land does not love men. It might have been kinder to leave you on the cross. Live, love, burn with life, slay and survive. We will meet again, dead man.
From scorching desert to frozen peaks, humid swamp and dry heat, the land of Conan Exiles is a large and hostile world where only the strongest will survive. You are an exile, crucified and abandoned for crimes you may or may not have committed, until fate intervenes.
Shall I cut you down from that corpse tree?
Your beginnings are humble and unforgiving, as you fight not only hunger and dehydration, but vicious beasts, terrible monsters, other exiles, and the environment itself. As you become stronger and better equipped, your journey will take you into the swamp, where overgrown insects and venomous arachnids roam alongside dangerous animals. While earning better equipment, you'll also be able to construct bigger and stronger fortresses to defend yourself against monsters, inhabitants of the exiled lands, other players, and the avatars of their chosen religions. Other exiles have banded together in camps and villages, where their cultural backgrounds come with knowledge of different crafts and a variety of weapons and armor. If you capture one of these craftsmen and make them your thrall, their knowledge will become your knowledge. In the eastern parts, among the ruins of Zelha, dwell the perverted Lemurians, the proud days of their race, long forgotten. Through orgiastic rituals, they worship the goddess Durketo, the twin-natured lady who walks the line between lust and death. In the north, the votaries of Skelos walk the long, arduous path to the heart of the smoldering volcano to deliver their offerings to the whispering creatures of the well. The many dungeons in Conan Exiles each offer unique challenges and rewards for those brave enough to enter. But go deep enough, and you'll only find madness. Surviving in the exiled lands is made a little easier for those with green thumbs, as cultivating the land is a new way for you to grow key ingredients for alchemical mixtures, such as potions and volatile orbs, as well as components for different foods and crafts. Your craftsmanship is a vital component to your survival, as you will have to think twice about what you wear for the different climates. From scorching desert to frozen peaks, humid swamp, and dry heat, where only the strongest will survive. In the beginning, there was sand. And in the sand, Conan Exiles left footprints of epic proportions, though the road through development was long, with huge tracts of land. Now, the exiled lands have more than doubled their original size, and is no longer a mere sandbox. The Frozen North update added snowy peaks and fertile highlands, and at launch, the humid swamp and smoldering volcano are introduced. With such a large-scale world, traversing it can be time-consuming. But if you're able to find the recipe to construct the map room, you can fast travel to certain waypoints located around the world. Perhaps you'll visit Siptah, the relic hunter city to the west, which is now a mostly harmless trading hub where players can come to barter, or perhaps strike up a conversation with the locals over a pina colada. With a fully dynamic weather system, there is a chance you might get caught in the rain, snow, or deadly sandstorms. But if you have half a brain, you'll avoid frostbite or sunstroke by dressing appropriately for your surroundings. The world is filled with dangerous monsters and other humans, as well as challenging world bosses and deadly dungeons. These dungeons are designed to test you and reward those who show strength, intellect, and resourcefulness with items and lore you won't find anywhere else. Combat in Conan Exiles has gone from simple strikes to a grand set of combos with light and heavy attacks and unique moves for each weapon type. And with improvements to artificial intelligence, mastering your moveset and stamina is critical. These improvements also apply to the thralls you capture, making them highly effective guards for your base. Milestone bonuses have been added to perks and attributes, and players can buff their stats with war paints, potions, and armor modifications. There are now hundreds of weapons and armor pieces in the game, which are customizable through color dyes and modification kits. And there are hundreds of building blocks in different tiers and styles for you to enjoy, including crafting and cooking stations, grow beds, and decorative items for the castle of your dreams and your enemy's nightmares. To penetrate the defenses of a player's fortress, siege weapons were introduced in the form of trebuchets, which can give you the upper hand as both attacker and defender, particularly if your enemy has been able to summon an avatar to tear down your walls. With the ability for players to climb any structure or cliff face in the game, necessary defenses like siege cauldrons and crenellated walls were added. And should the enemy somehow be able to sneak their way in, there is always the option of blowing them up in your personal minefield. Defensive construction is not just against other players, as the creatures of the land also rise against you to drive you from their territories.
Exiles, with new environments, creatures, mounts, and new materials for the cities of your dreams. Explore dark dungeons and uncover the mysteries of the island's black heart. Shipwrecked, starving, and thirsty, you must learn to survive on the mysterious isle of Siptah. Explore the landscape, from wreck-strewn beaches and hidden coves to dense forests and ancient ruins. Fight the savage beasts that inhabit the island. Scout the island on horseback, or charge headlong into the fight on the back of the new rhinoceros. Salvage shipwrecks to build your first shelter, and take advantage of mighty redwoods for added protection. But beware, for a vicious storm rages at the heart of the island, and otherworldly horrors stalk within. Traveling or building within the storm will attract the attention of powerful enemies from the outer void. Inspired by the ancient structures of the island, you can construct a mighty fortress and strike forth from a bastion of strength. In the struggle for dominance with other castaways, you will need thralls to fuel your war machine. Unlocking the mysteries of the island are the keys to its domination and the key to getting thralls. Explore and fight your way through ancient vaults, the last bastions of the elder races, and uncover their knowledge. In the depths of the vaults, you will discover great treasures and sigils of power. Surges of wild sorcery erupt from the Black Tower at the heart of the island, which summon groups of humans to the island. You must defeat many enemies before you can capture some as thralls, but be ready to defend yourself from challengers. The battle for control will be ruthless, and only the strongest will survive.
welcoming you to another wild run around the sun. It's 2022. Hey Exiles! This is Andy, your friendly neighborhood community goon, welcoming you to another wild run around the sun. It's 2022, and that means Conan Exiles is celebrating its 4th year since official release on PC and consoles, May 8th, 2018. Since last year, Isle of Siptah saw its full launch following early access with a massive addition to points of interest, camps, landmass, and activities. Now, keeping an eye out for the future, we've been growing our teams to encompass both live operations and development. We're hammering out bugs and quality of life additions, and working on improving lines of communication with our community of players, modders, and creators. A lot of the work behind the scenes this past year has been focused on one of the biggest updates Conan Exiles has ever received. You got a little taste of what's to come with the Grave Matters event from last year, and it's all coming together. But you'll have to wait just a little longer to find out exactly what we've been up to.
Why?
Same, man. That's all for now, but before we go, just a few words from our lead designer.
Hi everyone, thanks for joining us for another year of Conan Exiles. Over the past year, I've had a great time checking out the buildings you guys make within the median set. I think those things are awesome. You're doing a great job. Good work, keep it up. My favorite thing to do this year was tease you guys about the next update. So, for everyone that stayed with us until the end of the video, as a special treat, I'd like to introduce the next update.
Wait, no.
Shut up. Shut up.
3.0 is probably the biggest update we've ever made. It touches almost every aspect of Conan Exiles.
Fans should absolutely be excited for 3.0. It is a major patch. It includes sorcery.
Sword and sorcery. This is the other half of the genre that's been missing.
On top of that, we've got updates to the building system.
It's going to have a battle pass, perks and attributes revamp.
And shop as well, called the Black Lotus Bazaar. Sorcery is absolutely imperative to the world of Conan. When the genre was having its name coined, it literally became half of the name, sword and sorcery.
We've always wanted to add sorcery to the game. We think it's a part of the game that needs to be there to experience Howard's world in full.
A lot of other games are high fantasy games, and they focus a lot on fireballs and things that you can see coming out of your hands.
We wanted to find a way to make it feel more kind of physically grounded, sinister and evil. It's more about focusing and amplifying sorceress energy.
And as you select different words of power, you'll be building different spells.
Sorcery is broken up into 2 different parts. There's rituals and spells. Rituals are more kind of the crafting side of it, where you perform some kind of magical or sorcerous ritual at a crafting station at your base in order to make something, build something.
In your base, you'll build a sacrificial stone. You'll drag an unconscious combatant and put them on the stone, and there will be a ritual recipe in that crafting station to offer them as a sacrifice. Perform a ritual, draw their blood, and then the station will open up again and you can take the item out.
Tons of different rituals. Necromancy, for instance, allows you to summon the dead or create undead mounts.
A couple other rituals we have are integrated into the fast travel system that we're implementing. So we have one that's kind of a set of teleporter pads, and you'll need some blood and some brimstone to fire that pad up.
Illusions basically allow you to take a weapon or a piece of armor and apply a different look to it. So if you're able to craft 2 different pieces, and you like the look of one but the stats of another, you can apply the look of one to the other. So it allows players to look how they want without sacrificing the stats that they want to have with their equipment.
We've also wanted to go through and address all of the perks that we felt were sort of underperforming and sort of give them a facelift.
Essentially, we've blown up the entire system and made a new meta. We have some great surprises, and we are really changing the way that Conan Exiles plays on all of the attributes.
Corruption is a core part of sorcery, so we wanted that to also impact the attribute system. When your character is exposed to corruption, it'll corrupt their form and their whole physical being. With that power, you can corrupt your physical self in order to gain access to special perks. Once you've reached a certain corruption threshold, your character will be able to corrupt their strength, their vitality, or their charisma into improving themselves. These benefits won't show themselves very powerful at first, but as you devote yourself more to the void, they'll start showing up and making you more and more powerful.
When we first started working on the game, we implemented the building system in a particular way.
But since then, a lot more survival games have come out that have made us realize, hey, we can do a little bit better.
Truthfully, I think the old building system was a little difficult to use with the gamepad. However, with this new system, it's designed to be used with the gamepad, and I think it's going to be so much easier for people.
It takes all the crafting recipes, all the building items that you've unlocked, and puts them all in one menu.
You can go to the section you want, find the piece you want, and it's a lot simpler.
The creative mode is incredible. You get this admin panel, it unlocks all the building pieces, and you can create your perfect home or castle or fortress.
A fundamental change in how you can build in the game.
It'll be really, really easy, I think, for people to build their perfect home.
Some building pieces are part of the Battle Pass and others are going to be in the shop. In the Battle Pass, we have sorcery-themed building pieces which are built to complement and supplement the existing base building sets.
The main reason we're doing the Battle Pass is so that we can continue to release free features. I'm a strong believer that monetization should be more on the cosmetic side, changing the way you look necessarily, and not changing the power of things.
So the Battle Pass, you're going to get some really cool things.
New armors, weapons, mounts that are all built around the sorcery theme.
There are two ways to progress through the Battle Pass, and the first is to play the game. Every day you'll be given a series of challenges, and when you complete one of those challenges, you claim the experience from it, and then that challenge is replaced with another one. If you don't want to play to unlock everything in the Battle Pass, you can also purchase levels in increments of 1, 5, and 15. So for those of you who have less time, that option is there as well.
So we won't have cosmetic DLCs like we did in the past with the culture packs. We will have battle passes and ages instead.
We are going to have multiple sorcerer-themed armor and clothing options. Some of them will be in-game and craftable. Others will be offered as part of the Battle Pass or as part of the shop.
We're also adding an item store to the game, and this will allow players to have more of an a la carte option for what they want to buy.
It's been a long time coming, making sorcery.
With each new release of Conan Exiles, we're trying to make the kind of game that we feel like our players want to play and that we want to play.
So if you want to see more of this, definitely follow our Conan Exiles Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, all of that.
Thank you all for all of your support and for playing our game and enjoying it.
And I hope all of you have a great time exploring the world and finding the things to do those dark, evil rituals and become the twisted sorcerer atop a tower.
From dread whispers in the dark, I learn. Body by body, my mind clears as I transcend this withering flesh. Kill him. River by red river, I raise an ocean. A sacrifice to drown gods!
Wild sorcery is unknown, unproven, dangerous. Find the sorcerers and bring them to us.
Incredible for Conan Exiles. We've added tons of new features, activities, improvements, and so much more in this past year. Let's take a closer look together. Thank you all for joining us in another year of surviving, building, and dominating. 2023 is going to be even bigger and better, so stay tuned.
Revamping the journey system that you know. Whether you're a new player or a seasoned veteran, you'll find something to get from this renewed system. In its essence, the journey system is exactly what the name suggests. It's your journey in the Exiled Lands or the Isle of Siptah. From taking your first step out of the desert to experiencing all the features we're adding in Chapter 3, the journey system tracks your every step and helps you understand the wild world of Conan Exiles better while also reaping its various rewards. Initial journey steps are laid out in extreme details because we want the new player and the returning player experience to be as intricate and well understood as possible. We will teach you the basics and then we will expect you to use this knowledge in the upcoming steps. The further you advance in the categories, the less this new system is going to hold your hand. But do not fret, if you're a veteran player or you simply want to play a new character, you'll be able to skip the first journey category, as this only teaches you the basic controls such as how to walk, how to climb, gather resources, etc. If you don't want to see the journey system at all, you can just simply disable it from the options menu. The new journey UI in the top corner will show your current journey step along with a detailed explanation of its requirements. If you go to the journey menu, you will see that we changed the UI and made it easier to navigate through. You will be able to see each step, their details, and the rewards you'll get from them. Some journey steps will play out in a streamlined manner. If you want to proceed and unlock some advanced features, you will have to first finish the previous tiers. We want to make sure you get all the rewards and learn everything. Because we don't want this menu to get cluttered too much, we hid some journey tiers. They will be automatically unlocked once you finish the prerequisites. When Chapter 3 releases, the journey system will be completely reset and every player will have a fresh start with some steps being retroactively completed. This is to ensure that you don't miss any rewards and hey, maybe you will find something new to learn too. The journey system will grant you free cosmetic rewards and other goodies. Every reward is per character, and if you decide to make a new character, you'll be able to get the same rewards once you finish the required journey steps. The new journey system will be active on March 14 with the release of Chapter 3. We hope you will enjoy this revamp. Have a safe journey in the Exiled Lands and the Isle of Siptah.
When it is already over. These exiles, little termite people, hoarding our treasures. Blind to the past, they fight, maim, kill. Bereft of knowledge or dignity, they hunt for gold, struggle for scrap. They toil and build their walls as if it will save them. We have buried more banners than history can recall. Exiles, hear me now. We are the squeezing coils of history, grinding stone and dynasty to dust. We are the devouring serpent. We are empire and war.
we added new features to Conan Exiles and made some changes to the overall gameplay. Let's dive right into it and take a look at these new additions. The dominant powers in the world of Conan Exiles are closely tied to your riches, especially now more than ever. There's a war in the horizon and your riches will help you prepare for what's coming. With the new clan horde system, you will be able to go out into the world and look for treasures. They're in different sizes and values, and they can be found in various locations and gathered from multiple sources. You can find them laying amidst an ancient rubble, inside an old chest, or you can loot them from the lifeless bodies of your enemies. Treasure is out there, and it's up to you to find them. After you find them, you will then have to bring them back to your base into your new treasure room. You are able to decorate this room with shiny new riches and gold piles. But be careful. While you're carrying these bigger hoards back to your base, you will face danger. Sometimes it will be the wilderness you will face, and sometimes it will be other treasure hunters in the world. Tread carefully and protect what's yours. While being resourceful is always a good thing, there will be a practical reason to use your clan horde in what's to come. We will share more on this later as the ever-changing powers in the battleground take shape. Lastly, if you like to conquer the exiled lands by yourself, no worries, as you can do all this by yourself if you so wish to, without the need of a clan. If you'd like to get a detailed, more comprehensive look into this system, feel free to check out the guide made by Pixel Cave. You can find a link to it in the description. Another new addition coming with Age of War are the clan emblems. We know clans are a crucial part of Conan Exiles, and with this new feature you will be able to create an emblem for your clan and customize it with a wide variety of different symbols, backgrounds and colors. You can then display this emblem on armor, shields, banners and more. In addition to these new features, we've also made some balance changes in the overall gameplay, particularly focused on combat. The world of Conan Exiles is a merciless one, and we wanted to reflect this feeling through the way how enemy encounters work. Stamina changes, weapon repairs, AI improvements, these are all aimed at making the combat feel more visceral, challenging, and meaningful. While some of these changes are rather situational, others will be more significant in moment-to-moment combat. If you'd like to get a detailed explanation of these changes and the reasoning behind them, check out the link in the description for a new blog post from our lead designer. But that's not all. While sure, we have new features and changes to Conan Exiles, we also have a brand new chapter in the overall lore for you lore masters out there. As with all of them, you're going to be in the middle of this new chapter and shape your exile story with complete freedom. If you'd like to have a glimpse into the story of Chapter 1, check out Eradication's new video about the upcoming war. You can find a link to it in the description below. And with that, we welcome you to a new age in Conan Exiles, the Age of War. See you at the battleground, Exiles.
Designer on Conan Exiles. Age of War Chapter 2 has just released, and I'm here to give you an overview of everything we've added. In Chapter 2, we've made purges into more meaningful battles by tying them to your clan horde. The bigger your horde, the more difficult the purge, and better the rewards. Speak with your treasurer to proclaim your wealth and trigger an attack by the Stygian invaders. As their camp forms, prepare to hold them back at all costs. Attackers come in waves, seeking to breach your defenses and plunder your horde. Finally, the Hand of War emerges from the camp. Make full use of all the tools at your disposal, including 2 new combat improvements, the ability to fluidly adjust the direction of your attacks, and improve stagger consistency. This really makes combat much smoother. If you defeat him, the spoils of war are yours to claim. Look out for the captured sellsword. In return for some treasure, he'll sell you banners to summon mercenaries. With these changes, purges are more immersive than ever, and a source of increasingly valuable loot and thralls as you push higher difficulties. We've also improved loot across the entire game in several ways. Slain foes will now drop loot that reflects their culture, environment, and equipment. We've also added new chests to camps and dungeons with more valuable loot and treasure for your horde. As a result, raiding camps and exploring dungeons is now more lucrative than ever. As with each new chapter, a ton of new cosmetics are now available through the Battle Pass and Bazaar, including the brand new Pyramid set. This concludes our Age of War Chapter 2 overview. We look forward to seeing all your creative new bases and epic last stands against the Stygian Empire.